Alrighty guys, okay, so doing the homework, I'm kind of starting from number 2 because number 1 just wants you to explain why it's called the Hinge Theorem. And well, I think of it as like hinges on a door, so the wider it's open, the bigger the angle, and the larger the opening, which is the concept of the Hinge Theorem. For number 2, I've drawn these two triangles it's describing, ABC and DEF. And I marked the sides that they said were congruent. Now they're saying that AC is less than DF. So what I'll do is I'll just call AC something. Ooh, that's an eraser. I'll call it something, and then I'll call DF something larger, because that's what DF is supposed to be. And now we're going to look. They're saying, so the measure of angle something is greater than measure of angle something. So let's see what this means for us. If 8 is smaller than 10, then what's across from 8 is going to be smaller than what's across from 10. So B will be smaller. That's such a pretty red. And this will be larger. So over here, I'm going to write measure of angle E is greater than measure of angle B. Okay, moving on. So number 3, we just look across angle 1 and across angle 2. Across angle 1 is a bigger number, so greater than. And number 4, we look across angle 1 and we look across angle 2. Looking across angle 1, we have a smaller number this time, so less than. For number 5, looking across angle 1 and looking across angle 2, we've got the same side, so they're going to be equal. And number 6, across and across. And so across angle 1 is greater. Now, of course, I did have to make sure that I had 2 congruent sides on all of these before I started making these comparisons. And now the converse of the Hinge theorem, we're going to look at sides and decide what's going on with angles. So here, we do have 2 congruent sides, and across from AD is an angle that's larger than what's across from CD. So AD is going to be larger. Looking here at number 8, again, we have a pair of sides that are congruent. Looking at the included angle, across MN is a smaller one than there is across LK. So less than. And with TR and UR, so here we go. TR is across from 22. We do have 2 congruent sides. That's the included angle. 2 congruent sides, included angle. This one's larger. So this guy is bigger. This guy is smaller. And over here, congruent sides, included angle. That makes AC a little bigger than CD because the angle is a little bigger. Or DC. Okay. I said to skip 11 and 12. So now let's look at 13. So number 13, whoa, describes a weird situation with this. Can I make this go away? Forget it, it's not worth it. Okay, so we have the airport somewhere on this guy, number 13. Why can I write? Okay, here's the airport. So my flight leaves the airport and heads west for 100 miles. And then from there, it turns 20 degrees toward north. So from where it left off, it goes towards north. So if you remember, never eat soggy waffles, heading 20 degrees towards north from west would be going this way 20 degrees. And then I go 50 miles this way, so 50 right here. Okay, and now if I want to see how far I am from the airport, from here, I go here. And then now my friend's flight leaves the same airport. It goes 100 miles north. And then it turns 30 degrees towards east. So from here where I am, I turn 30 degrees towards east, which is to the right. And this is 30 degrees. And travels like 50 there. And now this is how far my friend is from the airport. So looking at this, to compare these, I've got to figure out what these angles are. This angle and this angle. So if this is 20 degrees here and this is a straight line, I got to subtract from 180 to determine that this is 160 degrees. And over here, if this is 30 degrees, subtract from 180, this is 150 degrees. So then that means that I have traveled further from the airport because my angle is larger than my friend's angle. So here, for number 13, this flight went further. And my reasoning is the Hinge theorem. Okay, let's do a similar problem again. So again, we've got the airport. My flight flies 210 miles south. So I'm already running into what I wrote down. Okay, I go down 210 south. And then I turn 70 degrees toward west. So from here, I turn 70 degrees towards west, which is to the left. This is 70. And then I go that way 80 miles. This way. And now I am, however far that is from the airport. And then my friend's flight leaves the same airport. It goes 80 miles north. And then it turns 50 degrees towards the east, which is the right. It turns 50 degrees that way. And then it travels 210 miles. So now my friend's flight is that far from the airport. And now 50, again, subtracted from 180. This is 130, because these two make a straight line. And then over here, 70, this is 110. So this time, my friend's flight took the bigger angle, so traveled further from the airport. All right. Okay. Somewhere here, I have the next two problems. 15. So number 15, describe and correct the error. All right, let's take a look at this. We have a side congruent to a side, check. Then we've got a reflexive side in the middle, so that's the second side that's congruent. And now we can use the included angle, and that's the key here. The included angle to make a determination. So the included angle between my two sides in question, those are the two sides there. The included angle is literally in between those two sides, that 58. And then the two sides here, and the included angle is that 54. We can only use those two angles to decide if PQ and SR are congruent or greater than or less than. And looking at that, 58 is larger than 54, so PQ is going to be greater than, but they said less than. And that's the problem. They should have said greater than. That's such a pretty green. Wow. They have pretty colors here. Okay, so why did they make the mistake of saying less than? My guess would be that they looked at the angle that was not the included angle, and it doesn't work that way. Okay, so that's number 15. This should have been greater than. And then for 16, we have to figure out what's a possible measure for JKM and select all that apply. So looking here, I got a side congruent to a side. I have another side that's reflexive. Then I have a 25-degree angle across from 8, and then an unknown angle across from 6. And all I know about this unknown angle, okay, that's supposed to be a question mark and it doesn't look like one. All I know about it is that it's less than 25 because 6 is less than 8. So I need something less than 25 degrees. So looking here, 15 is less than 25, that works. 22 is less than 25, that works. 25 is not less than 25, and neither is 35. So the answers here will be A and B. All right. Hope this is making sense.